This is former TNA World Champion Raven, and you're listening to TNA Cross the Line podcast. Quote the Raven, nevermore. And don't cross the line. Or do cross the line. I'm not really sure if you're supposed to, you're not supposed to. I don't know. Whatever. You get it.
TNA Wrestling. Cross the line.
And we're back with episode 249 of the TNA Cross the Line podcast. I am Colling Jr. With me, as always, is Dallas Gridley. In Dallas, we are coming out of hard justice. And the biggest development from the show, without a doubt, and we're going to go through everything, but the main thing that we're probably going to be talking about today quite a bit, and maybe even the show will be centered around, is that Christian Cage has turned on his longtime friend of about 8 months, Sting, costing Sting the NWA World Championship from Jeff Jarrett. Christian smashing a guitar over Sting's head as Sting came off the top rope. Now, for several weeks, maybe even since the last pay-per-view, we have had a vibe from Mr. Cage that he was up to maybe no good. Maybe he was being a little over-the-top phony to the Stinger. And, of course, Sting is kind of oblivious to it. So now the question I pose to you, Dallas, and I'm sure the question will be asked on this episode, is why Cage? Why?
I'm just here shaking my head, Bob. I just can't believe that Christian Cage would do that to Sting. Shocking.
It's a stunning development.
It was so shocking that at the end of the episode, I watched him smash Sting with the guitar, I think 5 times.
Wow.
Mostly because of the noise it made. And it was
Really?
so unreal. When Sting dove from the top rope, which, thinking back on it, he doesn't do that very much. So why is he even doing that? And all of a sudden, that dude, it was like a freaking car crash into the guitar. And I don't think the fans saw it coming. They were not silent at all as Cage stood there with the guitar across his leg and he was pointing at Sting to do it.
See, I thought the setup for it was a little weird.
Yes, it was.
So like if I'm watching, I guess was kind of for the first time. If I was watching in 2006 and I see Sting going to the top rope and Christian's just standing there with a guitar.
With the guitar, yeah.
It's like, oh man, he's gonna do it.
Yeah, and the thing is, like you said, and we've been noting for a very long time now, it was so clear that he was turning, which I don't think is necessarily even a bad thing. That it was that obvious, because we got the satisfied result of, oh, he did it. Like, and you knew it was coming, which almost kind of made it a little bit more exciting. So yeah, I agree with you though. It's very interesting all around.
There's been many instances in wrestling where like a guy is turning, and then they still do it,
and
you're still satisfied by it.
Yeah, because it's what you are wanting to happen. It's like, we need this to happen, and then it doesn't. It's like, okay, that is a good move. Now I can't wait to see what's next. I think that's the best part of when you already know what's going to happen is, okay, but now what? Now what are we going to see next? If Christian Cage does not open this episode of Impact, I would be shocked. I feel like he's got to open up.
I mean, in the traditional wrestling sense, yeah, you would.
I think we should open Impact with that dude in the ring already, spotlight on him, with no intro, just start the show. Christian Cage in the ring.
With the baseball bat.
With a fucking baseball bat. And, you know what else I do? The broken guitar. Like, this is this is the piece of it, not the pieces, but
You know what? I would have him come out dressed up as Sting and then take the mask off and be like,
Ooh. That'd be good too.
Yeah.
That'd be a great idea too. So I'm down for either way, honestly.
Yeah. So I'm sure we'll find out. If not this, soon. What why Christian did it. I'm sure it's going to be I never lost the title. You got a title, that type of stuff. Who knows? I guess Sting kind of won. He won the match at Victory Road. Christian was kind of like, what the fuck? But it's a 4-way, so like Sting's gonna win. That type of thing.
Right. Well, I guess that brings us right to one of our favorite parts of our post pay-per-view episodes. We're gonna break this up. Now, Bob, I do have some unfortunate news before we get into this. And that is, unfortunately, the August 21st, 2006 Wrestling Observer newsletter, right at the top of the page, says some sections of this issue are incomplete. And guess what part is incomplete?
The TNA.
Dave Meltzer's star ratings for the show. So.
Oh, shit.
Like, he doesn't. I'm going to read to a point in a minute, and I'm going to tell you when it stops. And then what we're going to do is, lucky for us, Brian Alvarez generally also covers these, and I usually ignore them. But because Dave's are not here, we are going to use Brian Alvarez's star ratings to go over Hard Justice. It's going to be a little bit quicker, I think, than normal as far as like what happened in the match, because he just shit talks and like blabbers so much in his writing that it's just like not what's happening in the match. But we will get to it, and don't worry, we're going to cover plenty more before we even get into that. But before we do any of that, let's talk about what the fans of the Wrestling Observer newsletter thought of the show. Bob, you and I believe, enjoyed it. I think we gave it a thumbs up.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the readers thought? Did they give it a thumbs up, a thumbs down, or a thumbs in the middle?
I'll say in the middle.
Well, the majority of the readers gave it a thumbs up. 75.9% were up. That's 82 people. Only one person, 0.9%, gave it a thumbs down. And 25 people, or 22.9%, were in the middle. So overwhelmingly positive.
See, now the only reason why I was thinking maybe in the middle was because of the fire.
That's fair. Don't worry. We're going to talk a lot about the fire today, as you would expect. What do you think got voted as the best match of the show?
The tag team title match.
That was second.
Okay, well then it's got to be the Falls Count Anywhere 3-way.
Yeah, it is. 87 people gave that the best match, and the second best match got 15 votes, the tag team title. Now, what about the worst match? Little tougher, maybe, Bob.
The worst match?
Yeah.
Kim and Soralda.
Yeah. 72 people said that was the worst match. In second place was Sting and Jarrett. I was kind of surprised about that.
Oh. Sting and Jarrett. That was Sting and Jarrett was just your typical Sting Jarrett match. Not bad.
Yeah, I didn't think it was bad enough to say it was the worst match. But
I would have thought Divine and Young would be in there just because of the shortness of it and having to deal with a legitimate fire.
Right, you would think so. Well, okay, so we're going to start off with the Observer newsletter. Dave kind of does a little write-up first, and then he abruptly stops for some reason. I don't know if like it got lost at some point. I don't know if he just truly didn't finish it. I honestly have no idea. So, pretty fun.
I'm sure it got lost because they had to like almost probably manually type it over or something to digitalize it.
Even in 2006?
Well, later on, like to have it in their archive or whatever.
Yeah, but if it was written online already, they should have had it, I feel like.
Yeah, I don't know if he was using a computer. He could still be using a typewriter.
Well, I guess I don't know.
because he was probably using a typewriter. I'm sure he just lost it.
Yeah, well, that's what I was assuming. So it is what it is, unfortunately. But it's just funny that the one part that we actually care about in the Observer newsletter is the part that's missing.
Well, I can't imagine that he would send out a newsletter with like a half-finished.
You would think,
Hard
right?
Justice.
Right. Well, he starts off here. Before the Hard Justice pay-per-view on August 13th in Orlando, TNA probably would have welcomed any kind of idea to heat things up. But of course, there was always the wrong kind of heat.
Oh, Jesus.
See how he did that? I thought that was pretty good.
That's Dave showing that he's a writer.
Yeah, right. But this heat, Bob, was so hot because there was a real-life fire, which had to be put out with fire extinguishers. So the promotion had to evacuate the building, and the show was held up for 35 minutes. Now, it appeared to be the worst kind of disaster, but in the end, it wasn't. After the long delay, fans were brought back into Universal Studios, and the show went on like nothing had happened. Only one match was eliminated, and the time was made up by cutting 2 or 3 minutes out of most of the remaining matches. So there's our answer of how we fixed the show.
Yeah.
And honestly, it doesn't really feel like a lot of them suffered too much from that.
No, there wasn't really anything that. I mean,
I'd argue maybe the X Division one.
Yeah, maybe.
But besides that, like watching it live, how we did, I really didn't notice that much of an issue as far as timing.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know if Alvarez mentions the time, but I have Cage Match pulled up, so if he doesn't, I can kind of reference some of that.
Right.
Okay, so the fire started when Pyro from the show opened somehow lit the ceiling of the studio on fire. Now, I'll just jump back and forth really quick. Alvarez does make a note that there's a burlap sack of some kind that got caught on fire. I don't know how accurate that is because I don't think Dave mentions that at all, but that's what Alvarez claims it was, that there's a burlap sack that was on fire versus Dave saying it was the ceiling. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a sack. When they zoomed in, you could see like what would be like a sack, like a little bit on fire.
Was it? Okay, I couldn't recall. So okay. As Eric Young and Johnny Devine were in the ring in the opener, you could see the material of several fire extinguishers falling to the ring, which turned into a big cloud. While it was hard for the fans ringside, the announcers to breathe, everyone went on with their business. Young and Devine got no instructions from backstage to wrap up their match, so they continued. Eric Young says here, "It tasted like a big bag of salt and vinegar chips," said Young after his match on the Wrestling Observer Live. Now, after the match, TNA did its planned angle where Earl Hebner returned and attacked referee Slick Johnson in a feud that years from now will make all-time wrestling dictionary when you look up the term waste of time. What? Well, there were funny chants such as the roof is on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't see us from the audience. For the most part, they reacted to the ebb and flow of the match. So, not too bad.
No. I do remember the roof is on fire.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Sorry, I scrolled up for some reason. After the match was over, things got disorganized as firefighters and fire engines showed up and ordered the building to be evacuated. While the evacuation of fans was going on at first, TNA didn't let the audience at home know that there was anything was amiss. Instead, Mike Tenay and Don West spent 6 minutes previewing the rest of the card. This was hilarious in itself because they just went on and on without really saying anything, which is what I said that when we were watching it. Like, they just kept talking.
Yep.
Finally, they were told to pitch to a Sting and Jeff Jarrett video package, and they left ringside. After 11 minutes of watching the same video package over and over, which had already been played to death on television the prior Thursday as well as the pregame show. So we didn't know the pregame show part of it, but it was played on Impact, the pregame show, and then for 11 minutes straight on pay-per-view. As well as a sign on screen of technical difficulties. They picked back up after all that with Tenay and Jeremy Borash outside the building near fire trucks with firefighters in the background. They ended up continuing to stall, including a hilarious Eric Young run-in where he asked Tenay and Borash to make sure that Jim Cornette knows that he didn't start the fire. Then, Monty Brown came out and did this lengthy typical promo, not changing his style one bit. Keep that in mind because that sentence is going to get brought up quite a bit in this Observer newsletter, which was almost classic in staying in character at a time when it looked ridiculous. The actual reason behind the long promo is, as they were coming up with ideas on how to rearrange everything, at one point, the idea was for Brown to do his promo and have Rhino and Joe attack him and start the Falls Count Anywhere match outside the building. I think that is a awesome idea, except for the fact that, what do you do? I guess at that point, but the decision was being made as he was doing this promo, and nobody knew other than to react if they sent Joe and Rhino out. But when they got the word regarding that it was intimate about going in, the idea was nixed. Now, at another point, there was a hilarious scene as they showed the studios empty except for TNA personnel with towels wiping up the mess that was left from the fire extinguisher materials. And for some reason, a referee standing in the ring like he was Charlie Brown standing on the baseball field alone in a downpour. He was just standing in the ring. Finally, they had Shane Douglas give a pep talk to the Naturals for their match, which was scheduled next on the show. Then they resumed the show with Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley going to the ring as the decision was made to cancel the match that Douglas was giving his promo for. Mm-hmm. We'll be talking a lot about that Alex Shelley match as well here soon. There's a lot of good stuff in this Observer. So
now, when you were talking about the Monty Brown thing, I think we even were saying like you could easily just start that match.
I do think we did
backstage to fill time.
I mean, why not?
Instead of just talking. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would have been good. Now, Dave goes on to say that this could have been a disaster and probably should have been, but the fans were orderly going out, orderly coming back in, and once the show started, the fire was nothing but a memory. Now, the show was a step up from recent TNA pay-per-view offerings because you did get that one excellent match, a three-way with Samoa Joe, Rhino, and Monty Brown. Now, the funny thing is, the match almost didn't happen, and it's not because of the fire. When the match was booked, Rhino was scheduled to be pinned by Joe, since both Joe and Brown were working on a winning streak angles, which they seem to always be. However, after Rhino cut those TV promos on Vince McMahon, his popularity, at least among the Orlando crowd, went way up. And the booking committee wanted to protect him as well. Now, I don't know if, this is going to be a spoiler. So if you don't want to hear a spoiler, and we don't have to talk a lot about it, but it's reported here, so I'm going to just read it how it is. So Brown not signing a contract, and once again, spoiler, Rhino is going to be booked for a match with Christian at the No Surrender pay-per-view. The logical decision was to have Monty Brown do the job. So when Brown got there and found out, he quit the promotion.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, after being talked with and pleaded with by Samoa Joe and Terry Taylor, he agreed to do the match. He then went out and probably delivered his most performance of the year, if not his entire career. Granted, it was a three-man show, and if we were to rank the three of them, Dave says that Brown was probably number 3. But he was with good company. And for the first time since his matches last year with Jeff Jarrett, he actually looked like the level of performer the company has always wanted him to be. So,
wow.
Isn't that wild? I
can't believe that he quit the promotion.
There's more in just a second about that. So.
Oh, man.
Yeah, dude. It's... These next couple things are... Just wait. So, after the fire, no one died, which is good. However, one worker...
No one died, which is good.
Yeah. One worker was hospitalized, though, due to smoke inhalation. Oh. And there were reports of a local independent wrestling promoter was hospitalized as well. The worker was one of the people firing off the fire extinguishers near the ceiling. So that's who went to the hospital. Now, the story got covered only in the state of Florida. The AP story made no mention of the TNA company or of the show being televised live And the News Minute headline story sent out didn't even mention it was during a wrestling show. Which, to be fair, they're at Universal Studios, so they're not going to be like, hey, at this TNA show. They're going to be like, hey, there's a fire at Universal Studios.
Right.
So, makes sense. Okay, now, this is in relation to the other thing. It's just in line with what I'm reading, so it might sound out of left field, but this is how it is. So the next day at TV, which is the show we're about to start watching, and the next couple shows, both Monty Brown and Ron Killings went to Terry Taylor and asked for their release. So
Monty Brown and who?
Ron Killings.
Okay, that doesn't surprise me.
No. Taylor was trying to talk both into staying, and at this point, nothing is decided. But Brown is free to go soon either way, because he hasn't signed a new contract. Now, when Killings asked, and Taylor brought up Brown had just asked him earlier in the day, Killings noted that the two of them had something in common.
Okay.
So we will see where that leads. Now, of course, the big part of the show, the big angle, went as expected, with Christian Cage turning on Sting, hitting him with a guitar shot as Sting came off the top rope on Jarrett. Jarrett pinned Sting to retain the title, which, as you would imagine, and as we've been talking about, was to build for Bound for Glory on October 22nd, with Jarrett probably putting up the title against Sting's career, is what they're pitching here. Now, the main event was average, Dave says, with the same early brawling in the crowd Jarrett's singles matches always have. Whew, okay, this next one's a big one, too. The other major behind-the-scenes news regarded Kevin Nash. Okay, so the 47...
Is he quitting too?
Hang on. The 47-year-old Nash called the day before the show and said that he had suffered a neck injury. His claim was that he had forgotten he put a set of weight plates in his son's toy box so that when he lifted it up, his neck went out and he wouldn't be able to wrestle. To say there was incredible heat because nobody believed the story would be an understatement. Even those who had championed Nash's cause and defended him, even though they saw him bury Chris Sabin in the angle, admitted he had played the company and gotten away with it. The pay-per-view was the final night of his contract. The original idea he pitched and was turned down on, but later the booking committee agreed to, is he'd come in, give his star power as a rub to get the X Division over, and put Sabin over clean. Because of how the angle played out, the decision, and Dave says, I don't know how much came from him, was to change the plan to a longer program over 3 shows, with Nash winning over Sabin, Sabin pinning Alex Shelley in the tag match with Nash, and finally Nash was going to do the job here at the end. Now, as noted before, most had conceded that plan had backfired, and Nash was only getting himself over. But the feeling is it was a positive because Nash's skits were so entertaining. The verbiage in the skits was actually written by the booking committee. Only a few lines out of the skits were come up with by Nash himself. But Nash and Shelley were the ones delivering the lines. Now, they recognized Nash had once again made himself the face, but the positives were Shelley got over in the end. Sabin was going to pin Nash, and for whatever it was worth there, to build toward a title shot against Senshi at No Surrender on September 24th. So, yeah. Wrestlers, including ones who usually don't say anything negative, were burying Nash because it's a locker room that, by large, kills itself on pay-per-view shows. With the exception of Sting, Nash, at $5,000 per appearance, is the highest paid guy on the roster. And with his track record of injuries and heart scares that coincidentally always comes up the night before pay-per-view shows, he is scheduled to lose on, and he never ends up making up those losses on the next show because nobody wants to risk his no-showing again. Nobody was buying that. In fact, Mike Tenay and Don West were making fun of the idea that he was hurt in the end. It was a positive from a comedy standpoint. Nash had to be driven to the show because he couldn't drive, and showed up, messed up or whatever. But he did his pre-tapes in a wheelchair. Shelley and Divine wore black armbands with Kev on them, which I think it was pretty funny. Shelley put over Sabin in a far better match than Nash would have given. Everyone expected Nash to go out of the wheelchair for the finish, but he didn't, so who knows? Maybe it was real. But if so, he's clearly the boy who cried wolf at this point. With his contract expired, he's not coming back to do a job. And right now, the feeling internally is to never book him to wrestle again. It is possible that he may be used on television, although the feeling as of press time is that it is unlikely because Spike and Dixie Carter see him as a real star, and Spike wants more star power for the believed ratings stars draw. So,
okay, so none of this should be a surprise because like one of the first times I remember Nash claiming a health scare or injury was Starrcade '97 when he was supposed to lose to the Giant, and then he has a family history of heart attacks and his father died young, so he was worried about that. But then what they're noting, or what's noted there, is that he doesn't make good in the end, and they're right because I don't think the Giant ever beat Nash. Sold out. Giant got dropped on his head on a powerbomb that almost broke his neck, and then Uncensored '98. I'm pretty sure Nash won that one too. So
that's so crazy.
Yeah, so I mean that really shouldn't be too much of a surprise that he's taking jobs.
Well, I like when this was getting pitched and all this stuff. Even in the Observer, even Dave was like, "This is not a good idea. Like they shouldn't do this." And here we are, literally at the end. You and I talked about it. Like Sabin has to win. They have to have Sabin win. And he was about to do the job. And my neck.
Right. Yeah, but I also kind of agree that Nash, I mean, essentially got himself more so than he helped the X division. I mean, I'm not leaving this feud thinking like, wow, I really want to watch Sonjay Dutt more or whatever. Like, oh, he's a credible, more than just an X division style wrestler or whatever.
No, you're leaving it thinking how funny Nash was in the segments.
Exactly.
Which, for the record, they were. I mean, they were really funny.
Oh, they were great.
But he did not help the X division at all.
And then that's what was pitched was like, oh, yeah, I'll get these guys over or whatever. And it's like, I don't know, man. I think you just got like what they're saying that, he got himself over more.
Yeah, he definitely did. And I feel like it probably hurt the X division more than it helped it. So I don't know. Hopefully we'll get back on track now.
Yeah. So then they're saying that they're never going to use Nash again,
to wrestle, which
a fucking lie.
Yes, we know that's a lie. However, I will say I was looking it up when I was doing these notes, and at least in a wrestling capacity, he's done for a decent amount of time now. We will see him again on this podcast,
right?
But for a longer than I thought, he's not here. So, or at least wrestling.
Yeah, I don't know when he would be like just on the shows.
Yep. So weird. Kevin Nash's TNA run up until this point is very odd, I think. He came in for a little while, had some title matches stuff. The Mercer thing, I suppose, is the staph infection is real. He showed it on camera.
He did show it.
And then he's gone for a little while. They bring him back to this X Division thing. Now he's gone for a while again. It's just weird. It's just a weird run so far.
I mean, we really look at it. He came in with Hall, did the Kings of Wrestling thing, and that was for maybe 3 months. Maybe.
Yeah.
Hall gets fired, so then they pivot to Nash Jarrett for the title. And Nash obviously loses there. And then by lockdown, he's like out of there too again.
Yeah.
And then it's like Bound for Glory. Nash is going to be there. Title and here Jarrett. And guess what? Just kidding. He's not there. Rhino gets the belt.
Yeah, why would he be? Weird.
It's just crazy.
Really weird.
It's crazy. And I don't even think it's a matter of like Nash wanting to be like the champion or anything.
Right.
Those no shows. Like, I don't think he cares. I mean, he's made it pretty clear that he does not care. He just cares about the money.
And being funny.
Right. And I wonder, like, in this situation, if he were to lose to Sabin, is he thinking, well, then there goes my value a little bit? And then
I'm sure he is.
I can't ask for more money because I just lost to Sabin.
I'm sure.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Well, the good news here, Bob, is that Hard Justice drew the usual 900 fans. Full house. So we were packed still. You got to look at the positives in this kind of stuff. So, and now we can start talking about some matches. First, we'll talk about the pre-show matches because Dave covers those before he stops writing in the Observer newsletter. Ron Killings pins A1 in 3 minutes 9 seconds with an axe kick. He says the A1 looked pretty green out there. Each man had won an explosion match in a series, so this was pushed as the final of a best of 3 series.
Okay.
So that's cool. Sonjay Dutt and Cassidy Riley, who was subbing for Shark Boy, who had transportation problems, beat the debuting El Diablo, who is Tommy Diablo from Puerto Rico under a mask, and Jimmy Jacobs in 3 minutes and 8 seconds. Fans were doing the Huss, even though Jacobs dropped that from his gimmick months ago. I don't know what that is, so Bobby, you would have to explain that.
So he's basically, was it 2006? So he's doing for a few years now, like a kind of like a berserker thing, and he just would have his hand out, hush, hush, hush.
What? Yeah. That's very weird.
It did get over with the crowd, but yeah, I mean, by this point, he's, I don't want to say normal, but he's not doing the hush.
Well, fans knew enough to do it, so that's pretty interesting.
Well, you know, and what else was pretty interesting is that I think it's like a year from now, roughly, is when he does the controversial.
The hanging upside down?
Age of the Fall, yeah.
Okay. I know we're not watching Ring of Honor, but we don't really see Jimmy Jacobs here. My friend, or you know him as well, Jeremy, showed me that, and I was like, this is insane.
Yeah.
I could not believe what I was watching. He's like, you got to see this. You have to see it. And it was wild. So, anyway. Jacobs looked good, Dave says. Dutt pinned Diablo with a standing shooting star. The match was one of those sprints, but it was good for what it was. And then go ahead.
Could you imagine, I don't mean to cut you off, but could you imagine if we were doing a Ring of Honor podcast, and did a live watch of it? These shows would be 5.5 hours long.
If it wasn't for that fact, man, would I love to watch them. But yeah, we can't do that. I have to figure out my own time to do it.
Yeah, no kidding.
And then there's eventually I feel like another really great stopping point where it just it's not great anymore.
Yeah.
So anyway, Dave ends with, he doesn't even finish, at least depending on if it got lost or not, the full thing. But Eric Young pinned Johnny Devine in 5 minutes 47 seconds, and he came out with about 25 to 30 fans around the ring. Don't fire Eric signs, chanting, all this stuff. So it was pretty cool. Now I'm going to scroll up here to my Brian Alvarez section because he kind of finishes it. Let's see. Young finally, eventually, during this, remember it was all smoky and stuff. We already talked about that. He hit his neck breaker for a clean pin. Crowd loved every second of the match, even the seconds that they couldn't see. Young did a huge celebration afterwards. And that match, actually, he does not rate because it pretty much goes right into the whole fire situation. So it's actually not rated. And it's not rated on Cage Match either. I did have that pulled up just in case some things carried over. If you're curious, though, the Cage Match viewers rated that a 5.14 based on 6 people voting.
It's what?
On Cage Match, it's voted on by the Cage Match members as a 5.14, but only 6 people voted for it. So, in case you're curious. So we already talked about the outside thing. They're outside. After the Earl Hebner situation, blah blah blah. Now we're outside because of the fire. Eventually, Scott Steiner shows up with Jarrett. Then a limo arrived. The driver got out, opened the door for Sting, and the driver was Christian Cage. They didn't call attention to it. He just calmly got out and opened the door for Sting like the world's biggest lackey. They cut back to the announcers that were laughing about the fire. So we're outside. Then we do the promo and all that kind of fun stuff. And let's fast forward. We're going to be back into the building right after the Shane Douglas promo with the Naturals we are also already discussed. So before that, we go to the interview with Alex Shelley. Shelley was wearing that Kev armband because he was out with a neck injury, wouldn't be able to wrestle. We already talked about that. Funny segment, Alvarez says. Great stuff. Alex Shelley against Chris Sabin, the #1 Contenders match. Nash was out there in the wheelchair and his neck brace back on for some reason, he says. Eventually, during this match, Johnny Devine took the ref and Nash threw a chair into the ring. Shelley grabbed it, but Sabin drop-kicked it into his face and then hit the cradle shock for the pin. Alvarez says, this is clean in 2006. Good stuff, but shorter than you'd think. Probably rushed due to the Inferno. Nash sat stone-faced at ringside, and Alvarez gives this match 2 3/4 stars.
Okay.
And I don't think I gave you a time there, so according to Cage Match, it went 8 minutes and 19 seconds. After that,
yeah, that's a match you could definitely tell they cut time.
Yeah. After that, yeah, no, totally. After that match, Mitchell and Abyss did a promo hyping up his match with Brother Runt later in the show. And guess what? It was next. Brother Runt versus Abyss. And Abyss defeated him in 6 minutes and 17 seconds in the beginning of this match. Abyss grabbed him and tossed him from the inside of the ring into the front row. They made sure to toss him into a large group of trainees this time. Trainees who could actually catch him and not drop him.
Mm.
He says Raven, who only looked 75 years old this evening, was shown watching on.
That's funny.
That's what I mean, dude. He's so negative.
He is. Well, he's just trying to be funny.
I know, and that one actually was funny, which is why I kept it in.
Yeah.
Abyss eventually hit the Black Hole Slam hard onto some thumbtacks, and that was the end of young Matt Hyson or Brother Runt. He gives this match 3 1/4 stars.
Oh wow, okay.
Rhino cut a great promo next, so cool stuff. And then we went to the Falls Count Anywhere match: Samoa Joe versus Rhino versus Monty Brown in a Falls Count Anywhere match. And for some reason he lists this shit real weird. Samoa Joe defeated both of them in 13 minutes 37 seconds. There was a bunch of cool spots that happened during that. Eventually, Rhino went for something or other, but missed and flew off the ramp through tables. He was dead. Samoa Joe finally hit Monty Brown with an STO off the ramp through a table for the pin. Hell of a match. Joe cut a passionate promo afterwards, saying that he'd come for a fight, and whether the building burned down or not, he was going to get it. And, well, he did. Alvarez gives this match 4 stars. And according to the Cage Match, at least at some point in time, it looks like Dave Meltzer gave it 4 1/4. So.
Okay. So Alvarez is giving them like positive star ratings at least.
Yeah, so he's talking crap, but he's giving decent stuff.
Yeah, he's acknowledging that they're doing well.
A wacky promo aired with Larry Zbyszko, who is looking remarkably like Jerry Briscoe, and that was that fucking annoying Slick Johnson. That's what he wrote.
So we can relate to that.
Yeah. He says, I have no idea what they were talking about, but Larry was funny. Fair. I mean, yeah. Next up, Gail Kim versus Sorelda. Yes, they didn't cut this match, which, yeah. Eventually, during this match, this went, by the way, 4 minutes and 1 second. Gail Kim eventually won suddenly, out of nowhere, with, as he says, a horribly mistimed blockbuster. He says, this was atrocious. -1 star.
I mean, you would have thought if they had to cut a match, that would be the one.
Well, that's kind of what I thought.
I mean, the tag one, I feel like I would have done the tag in Gale versus Geraldo, and then just try to maximize the rest of the time for the other matches.
That's actually a great point. They probably didn't want to cut 2 to like make it seem like the pay-per-view was like not worth the price or something at that point, but
no, but I think you have enough quality matches.
I agree with that. Yeah.
To make up for it.
Next up, Steiner cut a promo. He said Sting made a fatal mistake choosing Christian as his partner. And as we all know how that went, he was not wrong. Next up, Senshi against Jay Lethal and Petey Williams. He retained the X Division title in that three-way dance in 10 minutes, 35 seconds. Big dive spot happened early on. Senshi did a round off into a twisting moonsault to the outside. Pretty cool stuff. Eventually, Petey hit the Destroyer on Lethal. Then Senshi shoved him off and stole the pin. Senshi and Petey got into an argument afterwards. No one cared. 2 3/4 stars. I think that's actually a pretty fair rating for. I feel like even after that match, we were like, okay, like expected a little more, but.
Yep.
Conan did another awesome promo with LAX after that match, and then AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels defended the NWA Tag Team titles, and they retained them against LAX in 14 minutes 37 seconds. The crowd was going nuts for this early. They were super hot when AJ tagged in to work with Homicide. Eventually, AJ went to the top, but Conan crotched him on the top rope. Good guys threw the bad guys into each other and then hit a total elimination variation for the pin. Hell of a match right there. It was great that I don't give a shit that LAX lost. He gives this match 4 stars, and according to Dave at some point, he gave it 3 3/4.
Wow, you gave it a higher rating than Dave.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised about that. After that, Christian Cage cut a promo about the main event tonight. He buried Steiner for being dumb. He then said 3 words for him: buy a freaking vowel. Then finally, the main event, where Jeff Jarrett defeated Sting in 15 minutes and 9 seconds. Scott Steiner was in one corner. Christian Cage was in the other. Christian was out there in jeans and a black t-shirt looking like a guy out of the crowd. Steiner at least wore a tank top with his gigantic arms hanging out and his mesh headdress. When you say it out loud, it's so fucking goofy.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But he's a badass, and you're still terrified of him, and he's wearing a mesh headdress. I know.
It's so funny. We know how this match went. We already talked about it quite a bit to this point. Sting came off the top rope. Christian destroyed him with a guitar shot to the head. Alvarez says, "My God, that was fucking brutal." Jarrett crawled over, got the pin. This was the right finish, but they didn't have to make getting there so goddamn complicated. 2 1/4 stars. Of course, we cut out a lot of the complicated stuff, but if you want to know in depth what happened, check out our episode that we just did.
Yeah, they were. I mean, judging by how the match went, I feel like they knew it was obvious, and they were trying to like swerve you, like especially when Steiner and Cage were sent to the back. I think they were trying to be like, "Oh, hey, it's not going to happen."
Yeah,
but then we still got to it and did it.
Right. I have a couple more that you could argue kind of crazy notes still. I don't know how else to say it, dude. The notes this week are wild. And then, Bob, I don't know if you want to go ahead and get this set up, but there was 3 TNA UWF shows that we can discuss before getting to the show if you'd like.
I technically did those, I think.
Oh, those ones already happened.
Well, didn't I do a rundown of them on the last Impact?
Oh, you might have.
I can do it again if people didn't.
No, I think you might have done that now that you say that. I guess I didn't realize. I just had it in my notes, so I didn't know. But okay.
I'm pretty sure. I can double check.
You might have. You might have.
I know. I definitely did. I can do it again though if you want me to, just in case if anybody didn't hear that one.
Well then, hey, if we think we already did it, let's save it. When there's some downtime during the show, we can mention it.
All right.
Let's do it that way, because these ones are always a little bit longer anyway. So, okay. Oh, I feel like I should say. Actually, I'm just gonna start with a banger, dude. Okay, Bill Goldberg has officially signed what was a 90-day holding team with Spike TV. Now, what the fuck does this mean?
Oh no, he's coming.
Who's next?
Dallas, no. I'm serious. This cannot happen. This would be the worst.
This is
worst
crazy.
Possible thing, because he's just gonna go through everyone.
This is crazy, dude. Okay, so what does this mean? What is a 90-day holding? I think it meant term, by the way, not team. But anyway, now what this means is that they have him under contract exclusively and are going to try to develop a TV series for him.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
he mentions it. I'm not reading his exact quotes. I'm reading Dave's part that is a little more trimmed down. He mentions basically what this means is that he cannot appear on any other television show for 90 days. Anything. So, like, if NBC wanted him for an interview, he can't do it. Or something like that is how I'm taking it.
Right.
So, he was scheduled for meetings with Spike this week regarding ideas. Now, the idea that Spike would pay some money like they did with Sting and have him work TNA is almost surely one of the things that we talked about. And Goldberg says, quote, "The holding deal definitely means that I now will talk with TNA Wrestling." And he says, also, but nothing further than that. So he's pretty clear, like, I'll talk to him, but that's about it. So we might be looking out here. Now, Goldberg had agreed to do his first independent wrestling date ever on August 20th from a promotion called Gladiator Championship Wrestling. And he ended up having to cancel that because of the meetings. And he mentions, I think, that it was eventually going to air somewhere, and that's why he couldn't end up doing that, because he's on this holding agreement now.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Yeah, that's the end of that note. Pretty freaking wild, though, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'm not surprised about the TV thing, because I know he ends up. I don't know if it's with Spike or not, but I know he does have it, like a motorcycle show or something like
I
that.
was gonna say, isn't it like the car motorcycle? Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. You have no idea, dude. It would be so disastrous to their TV if Goldberg came in here. Disastrous, because the first thing he's coming in to do is to beat Samoa Joe. No doubt about it. That would be the match.
Oh my God, dude.
He would beat him.
Oh my God. That'd be brutal.
But that's what it would be. Oh, this guy's been undefeated. Guess who else was undefeated? Fucking Goldberg. For over a year. So we'll just have him come in here and beat Samoa Joe at fucking Bound for Glory. It'd be great.
No, I'd hate that, dude.
But that's what they would do. Lord knows that if you had Goldberg come in here and Samoa Joe beat him at Bound for Glory, I mean, realistically, what do you do with Goldberg?
Nothing.
Right.
Ugh.
But they wouldn't do a slow build where like Goldberg goes through all these guys and then gets to Joe and loses to Joe or whatever. They wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I know. Ugh. Safe to say we are safe, guys.
Yeah, we are. We don't have to worry about that.
Don't worry. We have better things coming, anyways. Anyway,
It's true.
it's damn true. TNA was trying to work things out with Hector Garza for him to return. Believe it or not.
What?
Yeah.
The criminal Hector Garza?
Yeah, dude.
Holy shit!
If you've been a long time listener,
Oh my God.
you know what happened, right? But Garza was deported from the country for about 10 years when he was caught with steroids coming across the border.
Yeah, but okay. Now you say 10 years. That happened in like 2005.
Yeah.
So it has not been 10 years for him to be allowed back into the country.
No, but they're working on it.
How the fuck could TNA go to the fucking border patrol police or whatever?
Here we go. Listen.
Okay, tell me. Tell me what the benefit would be for Garza
yeah.
to come back in here as a drug trafficking guy. It'd be great. Let's see.
Yeah. Well, Garza at first was negative about it, and he's now open to it as long as he can still work for CMLL, as he has no interest in working for AAA. Dixie Carter has finally made the call to go strongly after the Latin market and wanted a top babyface to build around and suggested Garza.
Oh.
Everyone was up for him, but when Terry Taylor checked on it, he can't get into the U.S. for another 9 more years. So at this point, it's simply considered not doable.
Yeah, no shit, dude. That is so fucking funny.
Oh my God, dude. Oh, well, sorry, boss. You can't come for another 9 years.
I can just see it now. They guys, Latin market, Hector Garza, major
Holy
babyface.
crap.
He was even here. Yeah, I mean, sure, he got deported. That can't be that long. Terry, go look into it. You got it, Bob. Comes back. Jeff. Yeah, Terry. So I looked into the Garza thing. Yeah, when can we get him in here? Maybe by the summer or like by the fall? When you say fall, do you mean like the fall of this year or like the fall of like 2015? Because it's looking more like the fall of 2015 that we can get him in here.
It's fucking unreal, dude.
What do you mean 9 years? What are you talking about? Yeah, so when you get like deported for drugs and you get banished for 10 years, it turns out they're pretty fucking serious about that. And we're not gonna be able to get them. Who are they gonna pivot to? Who would be the next Latin star?
Apollo.
Oh man, I actually know who I would go for, and it's based off of just hard justice.
Hard Justice. El Diablo?
No.
I closed the card now. Oh, wait, no, I didn't. I don't freaking know, dude. Is it someone in LAX?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, fucking Hernandez. Hernandez. Yes.
Also, in regards to Hector Garza, this is actually unfortunate. He doesn't live to even be allowed back in the United States.
I think we found out that he wrestled in Texas at some point, didn't he?
Yes, he did, but that's probably illegal. And then also, the banishment would have been like probably 2015, 2014. He died in 2013. So.
That's depressing.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine that I would be solely, like, strictly guessing at this point, but I'm sure he just kind of maybe snuck through the border for any Texas shot. I mean, it might have been real close to Mexico for him to, like, pull it off.
It could have been. Well, safe to say, he's not coming back.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Well, speaking of LAX and stuff related to it, Senshi's contract situation is all worked out, but he's got new heat. And I bet you couldn't guess what it is, Bob.
Okay. New heat would be he was too stiff.
Yeah. So in the three-way on the pay-per-view, Jay Lethal missed a spot, and Senshi responded by roughing him up.
Oh no.
Lethal was either knocked out or nearly knocked out. So, that all being said, Conan and Homicide have pushed for him to be added to LAX and were turned down flat and told that he was not going to be rewarded and put into a hot faction after this weekend. Now, he's not in any danger of not being pushed because they've got a program worked out for him as champion leading to Bound for Glory. And Dave says presumably being Chris Sabin involved with that. So, he's not going to get pushed, but he's not going to be rewarded either.
I mean, I think that's fair. I think that's totally fair.
Yeah, you knock out Jay Lethal for missing a spot. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like a reasonable reaction.
Very young Jay Lethal. Like 20-year-old Jay Lethal.
Right.
Like, come on.
Yeah, that type of stuff has always irked me when, like, I mean, you're in there trusting a guy to take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
And sure, you missed a spot. Does that mean I need to get my head kicked in? Probably not.
According to him, you do.
Yeah. I'd have to think that you could go without getting your head kicked in from Loki or Senshi.
Yeah, it's funny. They also like mix and match Loki and Senshi in the Observer. So that.
I mean, to me, he's always going to be Loki to me.
I agree. I prefer Loki too, I think. But. Okay, my final note for the show, and then there's more during the show. But this is another heavy hitter one. So now the contract situation is done. We're good with Senshi. However, that is not the case for Monty Brown.
Mm.
His contract expires in about a month. Now, right now, he's not figured into long-term plans due to the feeling that it's less than 50% that he's going to sign. Whether he'll go to WWE is anyone's guess, Brown has potential and charisma, but hasn't improved as much as they'd hoped for. He points out how, as we know, Brown at one point was being planned for the singles babyface that the company would be building around. He had the 2 strong matches with Jarrett, and Jarrett put over while he was leading. Brown was really was that good. Now, unfortunately, he never got to that level again. Now, the frustration with him is that everyone sees him as a nice guy and a great athlete who loves wrestling, but doesn't have the drive to improve himself. The basic gist is Brown made good money as a personal trainer, so financially, it's not worth his while, in his mind, to go out every weekend and do indies and get the ring time in. He rarely even does the Michigan indies that are a few hours drive from home, and it's that lack of ring time that is why he's not really improving, because you aren't going to get better doing 1-minute squashes on television. Also, many have suggested him changing around his interview style, feeling that his rock copy style has gotten stale. Nobody suggests to abandon it, since it was his promos that got him over in the first place, but the suggestion was to be more serious, and despite giving pointers, he then goes out and does the same exact promos as before. So, it's pretty interesting, and it's unfortunate if we are very near the end of the alpha male's time in TNA. So,
Well, I would say, I mean, he's definitely been leapfrogged, right?
oh yeah, I mean, if they weren't going to pull the trigger before, I think we're past that. And especially, I don't know, it's hard to be like, oh, he's not getting any better, because we are just seeing the 1-minute squash matches. But then you hear these kind of things of like, well, he doesn't want more in-ring time because he's already making fine money, so he doesn't think he has to.
Right.
I could understand why people in the office would be like, well, if you don't care, why do we care? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's disappointing, but...
You know, it is. He seems like the ideal guy for a WWE run. Charisma.
I was muted when I agreed with you, but yes.
No, I know.
I agree with that.
I saw you.
I was like, yeah.
I mean, I would even say to an extent here in 2006, I mean, he kind of reminds me of a guy like LA Knight.
Yes. That's a really good comparison.
You know, I mean, LA Knight's not a bad in-ring worker by any means.
No,
I don't think Monty Brown is either.
Agreed, and I've liked LA Knight for quite some time.
Yeah. So
that is a good example.
So yeah, that's unfortunate. I still think that Monty Brown should have won the title in 2005 from Jarrett.
Uh-huh.
Even so, like the whole Rhino thing. Like if you inserted Monty Brown in the Rhino spot,
dude, easily
give him a 2 week or a month reign, whatever.
I think it would have been like a month reign, and I think that would have been fine.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't need to be a long time or anything, but
yeah, I agree. That's, I think, when we look back at Monty Brown's time in TNA, that's like one of the biggest misses. It's just like, you could argue the same thing when Harris was hot in the Asylum.
Yes.
Like, Joe, pull the trigger on this guy.
Well, and when we interviewed him, which is in the archive, and he's a friend of the show, he had brought his family to the show because they had said he was going to win the title. They're like, we're putting you over.
I mean,
and then they're like, by the way, we're switching plans now.
It's crazy. And the thing is, like, if you aren't familiar with that time period and someone goes, Chris Harris almost won the NWA title, like he was supposed to win it, I think some people would be like, what do you mean? Like, are you kidding? But watching that time, like, there's no doubt that he should have won the title.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. And I think the same can be said for Monty Brown. I think Monty Brown, a lot, people who are aware of him, I feel like people think that he probably should have won, but probably don't know the context that we know from how much we've covered.
Right.
But he's another one. He should have won the title. So, and unfortunately, he does not.
I think Monty Brown kind of got fucked when Jeff Hardy came in, because that's just a natural pivot, I guess.
That's what's gonna keep happening.
And then but then you have to do that. You have like the whole Nash switch.
Exactly.
You know,
that's what I mean. Is they're putting quote bigger stars in front, and unfortunately, those bigger stars they keep disappointing.
They're proving to not be very reliable.
Yeah. And those ones specifically. Christian Cage has worked out, I would argue, fairly well.
That's different.
It's a different case. But Kevin Nash, Jeff Hardy, yeah.
I mean, you could even say at Slammiversary, I mean, Raven got it, I would assume, largely because of the association with ECW and how they had just one night stand and all that. They're going to be more internet centric because they don't have a TV deal. So, I mean, that definitely plays a part.
I mean, absolutely. And that's not to say that I think Raven deserves. First off, we don't need to keep going into this. Raven should have won it in what was it, 2003?
April 30th, 2003.
I mean, it still blows my mind.
Well, and what's infuriating about that is that they didn't do it because he wouldn't agree to a contract or whatever. And then the next week or however, a few days after, he agrees to a contract.
It hurts me, Bob. It hurts me so much to hear that shit. It's so
wild.
If Raven won the title in 2003, holy shit, that would have been insane.
Yeah,
absolutely insane.
I don't know how you don't do that. That would be the crowd for him to do that.
It would have been wild. But anyway.
Reminiscing about stuff we watched 3 years ago.
Well, some of it was really good and some of it was really bad. And if you have been a long-time listener, you are very well aware of that. Because there was probably episodes that you wanted to fucking turn us off. Because some of those shows were just not good. But that all being said, I am hoping this episode of Impact from August 17th, 2006 is going to be a good one. We're coming off of Hard Justice. We're heading toward No Surrender. We have 6 episodes of Impact before No Surrender.
Oh, boy.
Now, I know we got No Surrender in the way, but we're pretty much on the road to Bound for Glory. I mean, I think we're going to start to see a peek into the future.
Oh, shit.
We might start to see what they might be trying to think about for that Bound for Glory show that's taking place in Detroit. So I'm excited about these next 10 weeks of television and a little pit stop of No Surrender in between.
I would even make the argument that we're already on the road to Hard Justice or to Bound for Glory before Hard Justice, because I feel like whenever you start inserting adverts for Bound for Glory,
that's fair.
That's really what you're gearing for.
We'll put it this way. They just started the big angle that's kind of going to lead us to Bound for Glory with the Christian turning on Sting situation. And even doing Sting's title match with a screwed finish. We're already inching our way there. So it's going to be good. So let's enjoy the ride.
And of course, Bound for Glory is their first pay-per-view on the road in Plymouth, Michigan. So that is what's going to be most interesting about that, is that we're going to get a crowd reaction that is non-Orlando and see just how well things are connecting with.
I'm really excited. And to see how many people paid to go. Oh, man. I can't wait. Yeah. It's going to be good. But we have a lot to get to before that.
That's right. We got a little bit of ways. So let's get into it. August 17th, 2006 edition of Impact. I'm going to count down from 3. And when I say play, that's when we're going to start the show. If you want to watch with us, head over to TNA Plus. Or if you have it in your own personal collection, that should do the trick as well. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, play.
This is TNA. Now, Bob, I want to see what's going to happen if we're in these Hard Justice things, but I do have explosion notes for you. So I just want to be sure before. Oh.
No, we're starting with a brawl.
Okay. Yeah, so this is LAX going after our tag team champions, brawling around the Impact Zone. I'm going to hold on these explosion notes. Oh my God, Bob, breaking news. The fricking sign in front of the announcement table is different. It is no longer the Unbreakable 2005 one. It is new.
It's no longer... Oh, the one behind them?
No, the one right in front. It used to be blue from Unbreakable, and they finally switched it.
Oh, no shit.
Daniels is busted open real good right now. Conan on the microphone. How does it feel to taste your own blood? Holy shit. Homicide Conan wailing on Daniels. Holy shit. Styles just dove off the stage. Hernandez caught him. We cut away, though. Oh, look. It looks like they were doing a celebration about them winning the titles. There's congratulations and balloons in the ring.
I just got a massive fucking Charlie horse. Holy shit.
Look at this. We were celebrating. Balloons.
That looks like a celebration for like a 6-year-old.
I know, but it was really for Daniels and Styles. Ripping the shirt off of Daniels now. Look at him rearrange the table.
For beating LAX?
I guess.
Why is it specifically because they beat LAX?
I don't know.
That's kind of weird.
I like that they're not moving the champagne bottles off the table. They're just moving the table. Like, oh, we'll get to it. Oh, Daniels hitting the chair into Hernandez's face. He's Styles fighting back.
I love this. I love the start. I mean,
yeah, so do I.
This is to me Daniels is a great bleeder. Hello.
It's the bald.
It is. It's
the bald.
Steve Austin is a great bleeder.
Yeah, bald.
Oh, he's choking him out. Homicide choking out Daniel. This to me is my favorite thing going on for right now.
I agree with that, man. The LAX Daniels Styles feud, it actually makes me enjoy Styles and Daniels as a tag team a lot more than I did.
Sure.
Oh,
look at that. God, it's so good. It's so
Oh, champagne bottle smashed over AJ Styles.
Wow.
Put the belts on them. What are we doing?
You have to. You got to get the belts on LAX and then have Daniels and Styles chase for Bound for Glory.
Please.
That's what you got to do. I mean, I don't know. The money is the babyface chasing. Oh, Styles is busted open as well.
Wow. Is that barbed wire?
That is a coat hanger?
Oh, coat hanger.
What is that? Barbed wire? Maybe you're right. I think it was barbed wire.
I don't know. Anyways, here comes Rhino.
Rhino.
Six-man with Conan?
Rhino's like, hardcore wrestling, I'm in. UCW.
Yeah, right.
Oh, shit.
The alpha male, he's here. Okay. So he asked to quit. At least at some... Now, okay, that being said, it was at this taping. That means it could have been before. Although I think that alpha male asked before. I think Killings asked later in the day, so who knows. But Brother Runt's out here now. Jumping on the back of the alpha male. Here comes Abyss.
Oh, my God. Abyss is like walking like an angry mother.
I like it.
That was funny.
He was right after Runt, which is like the funniest guy he could go after.
The smallest dude. He's like, I'm going to kick that.
Here comes Samoa Joe. So we're getting literally hard justice pouring into the ring. Even Jarrett's here.
Get him out of here.
Yeah.
Get him out of here.
Wait, is it supposed to be
Jarrett? Is it for Jarrett?
Is it a Jarrett celebration? Oh, it is.
It is. Okay, yeah. That makes a lot more sense.
There's confetti. This is wild start to the show, dude.
Okay, that makes so much more sense. Because if AJ and Daniels are out there, it's like, we beat LAX.
Jarrett's drinking the champagne. Bubbly.
Now we know where Jericho took it from. 2006 Jeff Jarrett.
Oh, shit. The lights are out and Sting's music is playing? I did not think we were going to see Sting tonight.
Not so early, at least.
Or is it Mind Games? Oh, no, he's here.
Oh, no. Sting.
Baseball bat in hand. Cleaning house. Takes out LAX, Monty Brown, the Monster Abyss. Give him his last rites, Sting. Have that really awful match. Baseball bat to the face, clotheslines Abyss out.
Is Conan the only guy that's not going to get decked?
That dude can barely walk, dude.
That's true.
Holy crap. Sting has cleared house.
Way to keep your heat, Conan.
Oh, no, don't put the balloons up. If those catch on fire, we're done.
That's true. Did you just whack a plastic bag?
No, the sign. the congratulations sign. Sting wants to talk. He's not checking on Daniels, who's dead next to him, but he wants to talk. What? Oh, here you go. Microphone. Right here in Orlando, they're chanting TNA.
I mean, they weren't, and they still aren't.
You didn't beat me, Jeff. Christian Cage beat me. That's fair. I did it all. Listen, fuck Jeff Jarrett, but I like him, and he's one of the best heels. Now they're chanting TNA, Bob.
Yeah. Well, they finally got the memo.
Bound for Glory, Jeff. Want a rematch. Let me tell you something, Jeff. I will do anything. Anything. Realizing we may have spoiled the stipulation.
It's okay.
He wants an answer tonight. Although, to be fair, I didn't think it was a spoiler because Sting's contract is supposed to be up at the end of the year. So,
yeah.
In my defense.
How much of a spoiler is it if Meltzer knows?
Well, technically, this taping happened, so.
Oh. It doesn't matter. Oh yeah, we will get a Christian Cage exclusive interview.
Okay. Samoa Joe versus The Truth is up next. That might be Truth's final match in TNA. Let's see.
It doesn't say next, so it's still to come. Thank you very much.
No, I thought I said next.
No, and then Jarrett is going to answer Sting later.
Okay. Hard Justice. Bob, let me give you our explosion notes that were taped on this episode. Airing on August 25th, 2006, Sonjay Dutt defeats A1. Airing on September 1st, 2006, Senshi defends the X Division title against Shark Boy and wins. And then finally, airing on September 8th, 2006, the Naturals defeated Kazarian and Matt Bentley.
We're just getting a literal highlight video of Hard Justice.
30 minutes later, when the fire...
Less than 30 minutes later.
It was one of the greatest of all time. Oh, Eric Young came out of Jeff Jarrett's office. What are you doing here? What are you doing here? I'm outside of Jeff Jarrett's locker room. Well, I was in it. Man, oh man, was Sting ever mad? He said a bunch of stuff. He's told me to get the hell out. Do you mean out of the locker room or the hall or out of the building? You don't think out of TNA, do you? Can he fire me?
Can he fire me?
Hey, starting off with a 6-man tag team match here. Paparazzi?
Shelly, Divine, and then who?
Shelly's look right here. I like this. He's got his Kev armband on still, so he's at least still canon.
Well, yeah. You gotta show your support for your fallen brother.
Peanut butter Shelly time.
He loves that embassy taunt.
Oh, little Petey Williams. I hate to say it, but Petey, especially out of Team Canada here, is kind of weird.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing, dude.
It's weird.
It's like he doesn't have an identity.
Yeah. It's really weird.
And
okay.
So was his identity before just that he was Canadian?
Yeah, kind of. And they're fighting off against Chris Sabin, Jay Lethal, and Sonjay Dutt.
It's a good trio.
Yeah, we've seen this trio before.
Yep.
They're kind of like the conglomeration, if you're an AEW fan.
Jesus Christ.
It's just a random team of guys. Except for some reason they have to have a name in AEW, and I don't get it, and I think it's a silly tag team name.
Yeah, I don't like it.
With a conglomeration. And it's always Mark Briscoe like yelling it, and I'm like, bleh. Bleh. Okay, well, this should be fun.
Christian Cage beats Sting.
Look how wet the ring mat is. I'm surprised they didn't do that segment later after some of the matches were taped, because look at how wet the mat is.
Yeah, it's from, yeah.
My Bob, you have to have some indie notes for this one.
So
there's like 17 guys in the ring.
Right, and I was anticipating that there would have been, but by the looks of it, and I had fucking accidentally exit out of it. Sonjay Dutt was really the only one that had one.
Wow.
And it's a match that I don't think I would ever expect Sonjay Dutt to be in.
Oh. Speaking of, Sabin just pushed him over the top there and hit Petey and Alex Shelley out of the ring.
Okay, so here is the match. And I'm gonna click on the show to make sure that I'm not losing my mind. And it looks like it's okay. So this is because every match took place in. So basically, Combat Zone Wrestling had their own version of a lockdown show.
Oh.
But every match took place in a barbed wire cage match because you always have to do a little bit more drastic. So August 12th, 2006 in Philadelphia at the ECW Arena, Sonjay Dutt defeated Andy Summer, Derek Frazier, and Drew Gulak in 11 minutes and 20 seconds in a barbed wire steel cage 4 corners match.
Wow.
And that's the only indie note for the match.
Okay.
And maybe even fucking show because I didn't see anything else.
There's a lot going on right now. We're getting a Bound for Glory package that's new. This is brand new. They said all the titles are on the line. Sunday, October 22nd, all the stars are going to be there. They showed Raven. They said Sting, Abyss, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe. They've named everyone you'd expect to be there. And before commercial break, Earl Hebner ran in the ring in normal street clothes and got chased out. It's very weird. New referee because Slick Johnson was in there getting chased out, I think.
Are they going to do an Earl Hebner match?
Really hope not. That actually leads me to a great note, though, Bob. Thank you for that. Hold on. I didn't have my notes open on my side screen here yet. Earl Hebner is a loose cannon, they're saying. Conan is with Moody Jack at the announce table.
Backbreaker by Lethal. Right on the champagne-stained canvas.
Where is it? Oh, okay. So UWF stuff, we talk about it all the time. Well, the September 29th TNA house show in Richmond, Virginia will feature a Brian Hebner versus Earl Hebner in a hair versus hair match. Both are from Richmond, which is why I guess they expect that it'll draw.
For fuck's sake.
So.
A hair versus hair match between a father and son referee combo is going to draw in Richmond?
I guess.
That can't be the main...
I'm sure it's not.
The main attraction for that.
Also, since we saw LAX already, there is a plan to build a Conan versus Jim Cornette feud, but to build to verbal duels, nothing physical.
Of course not.
And while Ricky Banderas has been talked about regarding being a new member of LAX, that is far from a done deal. Sonjay almost just pinned Alex Shelley in the middle of everyone within like a leg. They're all in like a leg lock or something.
Yeah.
Oh, I meant to mention this during our opening thing too, but if you wouldn't have believed it or not here, Sorelda should probably be done after Hard Justice.
Stunned.
I know, it's a surprise.
Yeah, that's
knees to Shelley. Johnny Devine coming with knees, but Sabin moved out of the way. Nice heel kick by Jay Lethal, taking out Alex Shelley there. Dutt and Lethal hitting a combination move, and here comes Sabin to Johnny Devine with a huge boot. Uh-oh, here we go. Springboard, leg drop. That is not your finisher. Do not win with that. Okay.
You want to know how I knew he was going to win there?
Because they were holding the other guy's back?
No, because when he went for the cover, he spun around to make sure that he was facing the
well, Sabin got the pin there. Exclusive footage after Hard Justice went off the air.
Oh, no.
The Icon Sting.
Eight months in the making. Yeah, so like Christian turning heel, I feel like he's not going to be associated with Jarrett. I think he's just on his own.
I agree with that. I feel like that was pretty clear.
Yeah.
Because he still hits Jeff. He still hits Steiner. I mean, look, they're showing him hit Jarrett with a steel chair. I mean, he did the unthinkable. Fucking murdered Sting, dude. Very well done. Here we go. Backstage footage after the match. Sting leaving. Rhino grabs him. What the hell was that? I don't got time to explain right now. Trust me, though. Trust me. I did it for everyone, he says. That better not be our interview.
I hope not.
I did it for you. I did it for everyone. Guess that explains our thing we may have spoiled slightly in our intro as well.
So he did it for, I'm assuming he's saying that because if Sting is the champion, they're not going to get opportunities or something.
Yes, that's what I thought. He waited for his moment. He saw it. And he took Sting out of the match. Oh, here we go. What's in the mind of Christian Cage? I know what people are saying. I know the rumors. People could see it coming a mile away. Yeah, buddy. Oh, he says that's the furthest thing from the truth. It was a game time decision, Bob. He wasn't planning it at all.
Bullshit. Fucking bullshit.
Patch thing the title belt to use. See? He did. I mean, that's a fair point. He hit Jeff Jarrett with a chair. He gave Sting the title, and Sting still couldn't close the deal. He doesn't have the same passion that he has. What do you want me to do? Put the face paint on and wrestle the match for him? Sting wants me to stand in his shadow. Me? Can you believe the ego in this guy? I'm nobody's lackey. I'm the biggest thing in this company. Christian Cage was the biggest acquisition, not Sting. He brought the national TV deal, the national time slot.
I mean, that's not true. We'll go with it.
It works.
I mean, they got the national TV deal a month before he was there, so.
But they knew he was getting signed, maybe.
All right.
I could see how you could twist it. I don't
as
hate
a
it.
heel, you can twist anything.
Oh, well, yeah. Oh, he said a bad word. They beeped it. Rhino's my brother. Brothers, they tend to fight sometimes. When I sit down and talk to him, he's going to understand. I did this for him. I did this for everyone. I did this for TNA as a whole. I'm not here this week. Next week, he'll be here live. I screwed Sting over. Let me pour this in the bowl and let's see if a cat licks it up. How many former world champions do you know? They didn't get an immediate rematch. I'm going to go one better.
See? I said that.
Yeah. And who's never been pinned and say you're undefeated.
Shit,
For a new era.
Is Christian making too many valid points that, like, why am I hating this guy?
I mean, kinda, dude. Wow.
Because like, that's the worst, is when a heel has valid points. It's like, is he really a heel?
Pretty interesting stuff here, Bob. Oh, we're back from commercial, and AJ Styles and Daniels bloody in the back. You know what my blood tastes like? It tastes like hell. Conan, you son of a bitch. If you want another go around, you just had to ask. Get in the ring with us one more time, face to face, anytime you want. We'll even put the belts on the line. Conan listening from the back. He said, won't stop till they're dead. Oh, wait, we're going out to Conan. Chris Daniels, AJ Styles. You two little hoes. We came out here tonight, made a statement. Oh, well, you sweeten the pot. We want a border brawl. No rules, no disqualifications. Anything goes. Just the way we were raised on the streets.
So a street fight.
Border brawl. Okay, next time we see you, LAX is going to hit the 5150. Oh, shit, baby. Okay, that's official. Don't know when, but it's happening pretty soon. Okay, Bobby Roode promo again.
I forgot about fucking Bobby Roode. I would totally expect LAX to win that.
They better. Okay. This seems pretty close to what we already saw. It's showing Simon Diamond, James Mitchell. Everyone's trying to be his manager. I want more than that. Shane Douglas, I'm ready right now. I want a title now. You're going to do better than that.
Simon Diamond sitting there going, he'd be in the world title tomorrow with like... These guys don't win as it is.
Yeah, I was going to say, they don't got a good track record. You can tell, if you look in Simon Diamond's eyes, he does not believe what he's saying right there.
No. How could you?
Oh, he's may have to go out of the box on this one. Okay, we're back in the Impact Zone. Oh, one fall special contest coming up next. Okay, winner of this match is going to win a number one contenders ship for the tag team titles. Looks like Harris is representing AMW, telling James Storm to sit in the back because he's drinking beer. Okay, so today is talking about how this match was postponed from the pay-per-view, but we have redone it, but now it's not a tag team four-way. It's team chooses one member, and we're going to determine it that way. That's fun make up for it, I would say. And I think good choice with Harris representing AMW here.
Kind of weird that it's a singles match, though, for a tag title.
Yeah. Next up, coming with Maverick Matt, who I did not recognize, is Kazarian.
Wow, talk about no fucking reaction. Holy shit.
Yeah. I feel like Kazarian lost all his steam when he left. Hate to say it.
He absolutely did. Also, I don't know how I feel about Kazarian with a goatee.
Yeah, that's weird. Frankie is the coolest.
Wow, nothing for him. That's unbelievable.
Oh, so Cavell under the skirt. I have a note about her. The Naturals. Chase Stevens representing the newly franchised Naturals.
You better win. Just because I don't want to see Shane Douglas beat him up.
SoCal Val, who is a fixture at ringside and has been identified on the air, but has never been involved in any angles or storylines, has officially signed a contract, and she was also featured on the TNA Knockouts DVD, which I did notice is being featured on the ring skirt tonight.
Okay.
If you're also curious, as the James Gang member comes out, Kip James, thank God.
No, it's BG.
What?
I think BG's fighting. Yeah.
Dude, are you joking?
Bitch.
Oh my God. Okay. Another person, a female, I should say, was backstage looking for work. Would you like to guess? Take a guess. Which female star was backstage looking for work?
Is it a wrestler?
Oh yeah.
China.
No. Jessica Dalton, otherwise known as One Dirty Bitch, ODB, was backstage looking for work. Now, she's been working in OVW, but doesn't have a WWE deal. Tracy and Gail Kim are trying to get her in. Now, Dave says, I don't think they will do anything with women as far as wrestling unless they get a 2-hour show, though. So.
And I think that's a fair thing. I mean, you barely have enough time now, really.
Right. And that leads me to another note, as Stevens and Kazarian are starting us off 4 corners. It looks like you got a tag in. Spike and TV are negotiating terms right now for a new 2-hour show. As far as the day, time slot, and when it starts, none of that has been decided, other than the impression I have is Monday night is unlikely.
Yeah, no, I fucking hope not.
Yeah.
Oh, nice slingshot DDT by Kazarian to Stevens for a 2 count.
I hear one more for you during this match quick, because it goes with people being backstage. There was a funny story going around where Kid Romeo was back in the dressing room pitching his exterminator gimmick, and I guess he was doing a mock promo where he was going to kill a live spider and Jim Cornette, who has phobias about a lot of things. Saw a live spider and went off.
Cornette went off?
Yeah, because he saw a real spider.
That's funny.
Spinebuster by Harris. BG doing his little punch thing. Oh, I missed this one too, Bob. We've seen there's so many LAX notes. Good news is that Hernandez signed a contract at TV this week.
Good.
Which should be a really good hint if they weren't going to win the tag team titles while they weren't under contract. Right. Just saying. Harris almost got hit with a beer bottle. Oh, Harris.
Are these guys going to split and have a match at Bound for Glory, or for what?
I keep thinking that, dude. Storm gets tossed out. Now, handcuffs, Chase Stevens. Those are Harris's. Oh, shit. Hit Harris in the back. Whoa. Chase Stevens just got the Naturals a tag team title shot. That was extremely quick of a match.
Yeah.
Dude, Storm, what are you doing, dude?
Is he gonna be like, I'm proud of you for using the handcuffs?
No, look, he's not satisfied. Oh,
no,
wait a second.
They're heels, dude.
Oh. Is that kind of the whole thing this whole time? Is like he wanted him to like take advantage of the situation?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think he basically wants them to be fucking bad guys.
It makes sense.
Oh. What a turn of events. Harris and Storm are fucking done.
Dude, this ain't good, dude. Gail Kim is trying to restore order between the two, but... Oh, no. Oh, my God. You're shoving each other.
Where's Jeff Jarrett? Come out here and stop these guys from...
Gail Kim gets pushed out of the way. Middle fingers to the face. James Storm just flipped off Harris.
Wow, he got blurred out.
The double salute.
Did it again.
Wow, dude. I mean, not that I don't want them to break up, but Bound for Glory is kind of the place to do that, right? Warning: viewer discretion is advised. Oh, a Lockdown pay-per-view on DVD.
It's on DVD 4 months after it's been done.
Hey. Wow. Okay. Well, that's a lot. Let's see what else I got for you, Bob, during this. Are you prepared to watch the horror? Vampiro's new promotion, by the way, we've talked about that a little bit. He wants to use a lot of TNA talent as his Americans, but there will be political implications because Antonio Pena will try and work with Jarrett to avoid it. And with TNA taking control of its talent's house show bookings, I think TNA will be united behind one promoter, although that promoter, being the nature of wrestling, will change from time to time, as opposed to the Puerto Rico deal with guys working on both sides. That's interesting. This might be my last note of the show, Bob, here. In case this is any surprise at all, the reason they are doing 3 weeks of TV on August 14th and September 4th instead of 2 hours on multiple dates is purely cost cutting. Obviously, things like this will no longer happen if they're doing a 2-hour weekly show, as one would think they'll have to start taping every week. I don't get the impression that they would do live TV, so most likely at this point, nothing is for sure. Monday tapings for 2 hours with airing later in the week is what the eventual plan would be.
We just got like a video package promoting Joe in Killings, and do you think they did that to, number one, kind of remind fans of just what Ron has done, and then two, the guy who tried to put his notice in or did put his notice in, and they're trying to maybe accommodate his feelings?
It could be that. But this is our main event. We're at 32 minutes and 55 seconds if you're following along.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
People over there, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
So Joe will probably win this one pretty quick.
I would have to assume. The bell has rung. Samoa Joe, Ron Killings, nose to nose. Joe shoves him off. Ron Killings going right after Samoa Joe.
Get him.
What's up? What's up? Holy shit, that kick by Joe. Takes out Killings. That was a big boot.
Basically, Insaguri. A jumping one. Oh, pump kick by Killings to send Joe to the floor.
So Samoa Joe's out on the floor here, and here comes Killings. Dive over the top, hits the guardrail. We're going to commercial break. We'll be right back.
Killings is like seemingly trying to show off what he's capable of doing.
I know. It's kind of making me wonder, like, did he ask for his release before this? Is it after this? Is he proving himself and then ask for his release because then this is going to air anyways and then he'll look good when he leaves?
Right.
Yeah, we're going to still find out what Jarrett says about Sting's challenge.
Oh, shit. Right.
Tonight.
I'm just, when it comes to like 3 Live Crew, even 4 Live Crew, Ron would be like the last guy I would expect to like fizzle.
Yeah, that's fair.
His momentum just be gone.
Joe is gonna kill you.
Chopping a kick, coming off the ropes. Senton, no, knee drop. He's pissed.
Oh, yeah, look at that look on Joe's face. He's very sweaty.
He looks fucking so mad. Who is Joe gonna feud with?
Goldberg. I don't know, honestly. Oh, whoa. Did you say next week the Border Brawl is happening? Plus Christian Cage live? Dude, next week.
That sounds like a dangerous episode.
AJ and Daniels versus LAX in the Border Brawl. Christian Cage live in the Impact Zone. Oh, baby.
See, now that's just good booking. I mean, I want to see that match. The Border Brawl.
Are they chanting finish him?
Are you're saying the crowd is saying that?
I thought that's what they sounded like they were chanting, but I might have misheard.
They're saying tap, tap, tap. So it looks like the crowd is turned on Ron.
Honestly, like the more I think about this match is like very bizarre. It's just like very random. It's fine.
It's a throwaway match. It's like
it's a TV match, throwaway TV match. Like that's fine. Whatever.
There's no history here. There's really no reason for it to happen.
Coming off the ropes. Oh, that corkscrew forearm. Jesus. Truth taking him out.
Rotations on that are nuts.
It's crazy. Couple clotheslines taking Joe off his feet. Irish whip. Joe counters. Nice power slam. Kicks out a two, but Joe switches it into an armbar. No.
Ron is avoiding it.
And then look at this. He got the ropes. Unreal defensive move. Up and over by Truth. Joe going under. Ducks the clothesline by Samoa Joe. Hits him with a heel kick. Uh-oh. The X kick. No. Samoa Joe sidesteps. Tries to hit him with a knee, but Killing blocks it. Front suplex. I believe that used to be the Truth or Consequences. But kick out at 2 by Samoa Joe. We're going so long, I feel like Jeff Jarrett's going to literally come on screen and be like, no. And then that's it.
He'll just pop up in like the bottom left corner. I ain't doing it.
No. Oh, shit. Killing's got crotch up on the top. And you know what this is leading to. Gonna hit that muscle buster. Yep, he got him. And down. Goes for the cover. That's 3. Samoa Joe beats Ron Killings with the muscle buster. +14 months, Samoa Joe has never been pinned or submitted in TNA. That was a pretty good match for a throwaway TV match. Let's go get that answer from Jeff Jarrett. We're going to the back. No surrender sign behind him. Are you going to accept his challenge for Bound for Glory? I thought there was no way that I was going to say yes to this challenge from Sting. What was in it for me? Does he think I'm an idiot? Does he think I'm a moron? Sting. The definition of a good deal is a win-win on both sides. Your offer, there's nothing in it for me. I have nothing to gain, everything to lose. He's got a challenge of his own, though. If there's going to be an NWA World Title match at Bound for Glory, it's going to be my title against your career, your legacy. I want a fully executed contract in 7 days. When I beat you, your TNA contract must be terminated. Your merchandise is burned. You never show your face again. We're going to find out in 7 days if it truly is going to be Showtime. Career versus title. What's your answer? And we're ending with a video package of the show. Adrenaline rush. Bob, what did you think of that episode of Impact?
Well, the main event there was pretty dull, but I would say that was a good show.
Yeah, I think it was a good show. I do wish that I kind of almost wish, I don't know, maybe I wish that like the tag team thing was like last or something. I don't know. There's like something was weird about the order of that show, I feel like.
Yeah.
On the next Impact, dude. We're going to see a little cool match graphic? Or they're just showing the video? No, they're not showing the match graphic. They're just telling us about it. Are they going to risk too much? I don't know, man. But next week is sounding like a really good episode.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that Jarrett would be like, yeah, but I would expect him to be avoiding it at all costs.
Well, he said, if there's something in it for me, then we can make it work. But that's what Sting gets for saying anything. So I'm very excited about that. If we already are about to have our Bound for Glory main event, and we are at this moment roughly 10 weeks out. I'm assuming there's 4 impacts between No Surrender and Bound for Glory, and we have 6 here. So we'll be like 9 out. That's pretty good.
At least.
So
1, 2, 3. Yeah, there's 4 between No Surrender and Bound for Glory.
Yeah, so sounds pretty good to me. Get those ticket sales going, baby.
Yeah.
I feel good.
Yeah, I'm looking for. I mean, I think we're reaching a point where they're kind of flowing fairly well.
Yeah, and I think we're going to be hitting a very pivotal time here very soon. Some good stuff's about to happen. I know we keep saying that, but everyone who keeps sticking around, you're finding out.
Yeah. We got quite a bit. Even backstage, I know we're gonna get some things that are gonna.
Yeah. It's going to be very interesting. So stay tuned as we continue going through all this. And be sure to follow us on all of our social media pages to join all the fun. At Cross the Line TNA over on Twitter. At TNA Cross the Line Pod on Facebook. It's also at Cross the Line TNA on Instagram if you're into the gram. And of course, you can go to our ProWrestlingTees.com/CrossTheLineTNA. Support the channel. But even more importantly than all that, just follow us wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Leave us a review even. That means even more.
Yeah, buy some merch so we can retire from our jobs.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, it would be nice.
I mean, I'm not asking for much. I'm just asking for millions of people to buy a t-shirt. That's not too much.
That's not too much.
So if you just want to maybe get that started, that'd be great. But yeah, so as we've already mentioned, next week is a big episode, the Border Brawl, and I would imagine Sting's answer to Jeff Jarrett, which I'm sure he'll say, duh, yeah, let's do it. But yeah, all right. So we'll see you guys next week for the Border Brawl, and our march towards No Surrender continues. Until then, for Dallas Gridley, I am Bob Colling Jr., and this has been the TNA Across the Line podcast.